Hi parents, if your child can do something one day but not the next, does this mean that they're choosing not to do it? This is one of the misunderstood assumptions that neurodiverse kids have to face. And have you heard somebody say, but they can do it if they want to? And has that made you feel that this isn't the complete truth? Welcome to From the Teacher's Desk. I'm a special education teacher with parent and teacher-friendly strategies to support learning and behavior. And today we're talking about why inconsistency is so misunderstood when a child can do something sometimes, but not every time. Let's get started. One of the frustrating things that parents sometimes hear is, well, they can do it if they want to. And this is frustrating because it shows that the people seeing this behavior don't understand the whole truth behind it. Because yes, sometimes your child can write that paragraph and they can handle the outing and they can tolerate the noise and sometimes they can get through the whole routine, but sometimes they are not able to do any of these. And this inconsistency can also get mistaken for manipulation. Often the missing piece is capacity. Capacity changes regularly for all of us, but especially for neurodiverse kids, capacity changes with sleep, with hunger, with stress, with being social, with schedule changes, with sensory overload, and also it depends on how much they've been asked to do already that day. So if they can do something, it doesn't mean that they can do something reliably under all conditions. And that's a big difference to understand. When adults assume that the performance should be identical every time, then they start responding with blame instead of support. When they see inconsistency, they start thinking, oh, this child is being difficult. They're choosing not to do it. They could do it yesterday. They certainly should be able to do it today. But inconsistency is information, and it means that the skill may exist, but access to that skill is variable. And it's really important to observe and see when access to that skill is available and when it is not available. This means that your next question is not, how do I make my child stop this behavior? But instead it is, what environment and conditions help my child do their work? And what conditions prevent my child from doing their work? Because once you start asking the right questions, you stop seeing your child as the problem and you start looking at what could be causing the problem. Start looking for patterns. When does success happen? What is different on those days? What demands are lower? What supports are present? Is there a heavy task that comes before this? Because if a child is able to cope with one field trip, they may not be able to cope with another field trip. And if a child reads fluently one morning at the start of the day, they may not be able to manage that reading in the afternoon after a full day of noise and social effort. Sometimes success has a cost that adults do not see until later, because sometimes the child does manage to do the task, but they manage to do it by using everything they had. And what looks like success in this moment can look like irritability, a meltdown, shutdown, and exhaustion later. And this is why parents should not say, but they did it yesterday, as proof that today should be just as easy, because maybe doing that task yesterday used up all their resources and there's nothing left for today. When you understand that capacity can change, you become a more accurate observer of your child and your expectations get kinder and smarter, not lower. And this is where good support begins. Thank you so much for joining me here from the Teacher's Desk. Next week, we will be discussing what happens when the needs of one child take over an entire household. See you then.